the Mercedes C-Class, the C220d. You want a little bit of power in the C-Class, then you need the C220d. And that's exactly what I have with me out here today. And we're about to find out, as part of the luxury car series, how well has this one aged 5 years on. This right here is the Mercedes C-Class C220d Prime all around it. Just jerk it open like this, and you've got this to carry on whenever you're shopping around. You even got this cut out for the AC vent that just simply opens. A couple of AC vents, really cuties. The juice is 190 horses. What's this vehicle long here? It just simply revs all the way to the 5,000 mark. I'm raving out here, mate. Moving into the headlamps for the C220d out here. Crystalline finished LEDs on top. A DRL that just swerves as though it's some kind of a flowing design. This kind of touches you'll only find on a Merc. You're not going to find anywhere else. Large chunky LED out there as well. Mercedes likes to term it as a high performance one, and I'm pretty sure you'd see anything in the dark with these. Moving down here, got a nice little air intake. However, it's fake. But it still adds to the look and appeal of the vehicle. You got a little bit of a matted out finish, dual strip that comes along the Mercedes badge out here in the grille. The hood out here has this one single streak that runs right across. It's very Mercedes-esque. Little badge out there. Overall, the hood has these couple of lines on the side as well. Give it some nice muscular structure. But other than that, they've gone with a very, very clean design. Just the way it just simply swerves with these bumper cuts out here. It just simply is all gliding around it. A little bit of a bulge. Getting in on the side out here, I can clearly see we have some 16-inch wheels down here. 16 inches in today's world, yeah, that is kind of small, isn't it? But Mercedes has compensated for that by somehow putting in 225/50 tires in this. Does add to the width of the tire size and makes it look good. Along the vehicle side profile here, we've got a really strong shoulder line. Another line that really somehow just simply inverts out from the door panel out here. A little bit of a skirt at the bottom as well. Move right behind it, and you find these glossed up LEDs. That's what I like to term them as. And almost as though they have these spider-esque LEDs running right across them. They look really fancy in the dark, and it just simply merges along the side of the vehicle this way. Very seamless looking design. Lovely chrome strip around here. Quickly pop the boot open. Flicks right up in an instant. The worst part about it though, if you take a good look in there, you're not having that much space as it is, and you're having to carry the space saver spare wheel on top of it. Just move this around here, quickly pop this open, and you find you've got your spare fittings inside there. For some reason, I don't know why could they have not fitted it inside there. Nice little parcel tray here. This is such a fancy touch by Mercedes. You just simply just jerk it open like this, and you've got this to carry on whenever you're shopping around. So these touches are really, really neat. You've got a couple of nets on that side, either side out there. Overall, another hook as well here in either corner. It's a good finish. To shut the boot, you just simply dink it down like that and it shuts. The exhaust down here, there's no real cut out for it along the bumpers aside from your parking sensor. Little strip that goes out here, and your exhaust pipes are right underneath down there. Couple of them that is on the C220 underneath the hood. Glides open that way. A 2-liter diesel engine in its bay out here. It's a massive one, isn't it? And definitely it had to be, because it produces 190 horses and a whopping 400 newton meters of torque. That's really good power in this vehicle. Really makes it drive faster than the petrol variant, which only produces around about 180 horses. You've got some nice insulation up there as well. Keeps it compact. Insulation elements in the back as well to avoid all of that diesel engine rattle that comes in the vehicles. This one somehow does tend to stay quiet, and it's a good job done by Mercedes. A lot of plastic elements around it, but it really covers the entire engine bay well enough. Let's get out of here and make our way inside this cabin. It's so fancy from outside, and I cannot wait to see what's inside of it now. Getting into the C220 now. The cabin is so well upholstered. Leather finishes all around, soft touch materials along the dash, door panels as well. It's so soft. The armrest, stitched leather upholstery out here. Center console armrest as well has stitched leather upholstery. There's finishing around it as well. It's solid. It doesn't shake. Stays sturdy as ever. Little bit of an aluminum insert that comes along here on the dash as well. It's all indented, that's the finish. So if you even take a look at this finishing along out here, it's as though as it's just simply sliced its way apart from the door panel and it just glides across like that from top. Really structured finishing and such good architecture inside the C-Class out here. Let's take a look at all the storage spaces now inside the C-Class's cabin. Let's get on with the glove region. It opens up nice and wide. You've even got this cutout for the AC vent that just simply opens. These are such architectural touches that have been made in the cabin. It's got a lot of space, good amount of depth inside. 2 1-liter bottles is what I can see getting in there. Shuts that way. You can even lock it if you wish to prevent your driver from stealing your stuff. Door panel out there, you've got a lot of space as well. It's pretty much widened up. A 1-liter bottle should fit in comfortably. Got a little hatch out here to put in your sunglasses, neat and handy. Shuts just that way. Your visors, they have anti-mirrors with lights up out there. The sunroof opens up nice and wide. The shade goes back with it. To shut it back now, you flick that switch right out there, but the shade has to be pulled back manually. Center console, glossy panels all around, really rich looking, but fingerprint magnets as well as dust magnets. 12-volt charging socket out there. Couple of really neat and handy cup holders out here. Not that big, but yeah, they do their job. Shut this down. We move into the armrest, which is actually the fanciest storage inside this cabin. You click it with one touch and it just simply opens up either side. You've got a couple of USB ports down there as well. Really deep storage, very handy. The center console, the buttons look expensive, don't they? Then they absolutely are. They have these aluminum inserts, a little bit of grainy finish on top of them. The vents can be controlled either way. Just look at the way they rotate. This looks and oozes richness. Let's take a look down here. What do we have? We have further buttons that illustrate your hazard lighting, a button that just simply takes you into the vehicle settings. You've got a telephone, your media radio, as well as navigation, which you need a chip for, I'm afraid. You've got a 6 CD changer as well down here. Turning on the infotainment screen, Mercedes-Benz shows up. Cannot touch it. It's a 7-inch screen, but cannot be touched. They don't like fingerprints and they're going to keep it that way. They want all clean stuff. Somehow though, I hate the way it looks because it doesn't embed itself into the dash. It just simply floats outside like this. It's almost as though it's stuck on. Move down here in the center console and we have this wheel as well as this little touchpad that comes in really handy to glide around menus. I wouldn't really prefer using that. The wheel is the best option to choose here. Get into vehicle settings. Belt adjustment to decide if I want to actually tighten up the moment I sit in the vehicle and I lock the seat belt. It's a really fluid moving system. It doesn't really lag. Or a dynamic drive selection tool option here. This is really in depth. Now I can actually decide what kind of a driving setup I want, what kind of a steering setup I want. So it actually gives me that kind of feedback as well. The animations are really lovely and neat. You go to the drivetrain selection. You can decide if you want a Sport Plus, you want it in manual, you want it in Eco, Comfort, or just Sport. So while I want to move my AC controls out here, my fan speed, you wonder there's no display out here. Where's it going to show up? It's all going to show up on the screen. So that's where my fan speed is. So if I just simply dink this up, it shows up increase the fan speed now to 7. And yeah, then I bring it quickly down and it reduces out there. So it even shows my AC is on wherever the flow is being directed to. So now that you know that the AC settings as well show up out there, I've got my phone connectivity option. So there's Bluetooth, but there's no Android Auto or Apple CarPlay that comes in this system. And let's quickly take a look now at what we have down here in the center console. This is the button that I use to select my different driving modes. I have my auto on and off switch out there. The volume control for the infotainment system as well is out here. It's a really fancy scroll wheel. It's all totally aligned towards the driver's side. It's a 3-spoke steering wheel here in the Merc. It has reach as well as rake. Bring it towards me. Rake it up and down. My driver's instrument cluster. A 5-inch screen that gives me a decent amount of options to choose from. Click this OK button along the wheel out here. On this side I have my media command controls, a little bit of voice control system as well. This side controls whatever I see on the 5-inch screen out here. Click the home button if I want my media details, my telephone, a little bit of an assistance graphic. Move in the trip details and I can see my digital speed if I want to. It's all analog on either side in this one, as well as my eco displays. So yeah, the graphics and the color screen resolution is neat. What I have out here is my gear lever, my gear selector. Dink it down, you notice I'm in a drive. And when I dink it back up like that, I'm immediately in a reverse. And I get dynamic guidelines as well. So I just simply turn the steering wheel and the lines just simply turn on the steering. So I have different view angles as well, along with the dynamic guidelines out here. So if I move down here and I click on that, it gives me such a wide landscape. It's really, really rich. A couple of paddle shifters at the back here. You got your wiper controls as well as your cruise control and your speed limiter button now toggle out here on the stock out there. You got my headlight buttons out here, as well as the brightness control for the cabin, fog lamp switch out there. Along this side on the door panel is where I have my seat adjustments. Got a 9-speaker sound system here in this prime version of the vehicle. Getting in the back seat now. Under thigh support is the first thing that I notice. It's really lacking. I feel as though I'm just simply seated on this much portion from the backside to my midway region of my thighs. Anyhow, what do I see out here? Good visibility, yeah. Comfort in the backrest portion is good. 3 at the back is going to be really difficult though. Good leg room, yeah, but a transmission tunnel in the between is what compromises the 3 at the back situation. However, one of the best parts about this cabin here in the back region is this sunshade. Comes in really nice and handy. Put it down, you just simply push it out that way, folds in, completely flushes up with the door panel out here, soft touch completely around here. Got that 9-speaker system that continues, the speaker coming out here, aluminum finish, aluminum insert for this window switch out here, lovely finishing along the door panel, leather stitch upholstery, maximum a 500 ml bottle is what can fit in there. Storage behind the seat out here. Comes in like an airplane storage. That's really decent. A couple of AC vents, really cuties. That's what I like to consider these. So damn small. The flaps in them are manually adjustable and I can actually adjust the speed. There's no control for the temperature. Got a little bit of a hatch down here that is a 12-volt charging socket as well as a little bit of storage there. Not that much. Quickly move into the armrest region. I've got all right storage out here, a couple of cup holders that just simply flap open that way. Put your cups inside it and they just simply offer support, and they even can handle bigger cups. Put that away, you cannot access the boot from here. Headroom is as decent as it could get. Visibility is nice. I am padded up, and so for long distances, yeah, this may be an all right place to be, but I definitely prefer the front seats as well as driving it. In the driver's seat at last, the key in my hand, there's no push start button to ignite this vehicle, so you just simply put it in the slot, twist it once, just dink it that way and it starts. The vehicle's ignited. Seat belt, it has this lovely auto adjust the way I showed you, so it grips you well enough, tightens up automatically. So while I'm in Eco Pro right now, the steering is lightened up completely, and this Overtronic steering wheel, it has a really good responsiveness that comes actually back from the car. You can really feel it guzzling as well. So there is a little bit of diesel engine sound that even comes in the Eco mode. However, now the bump handling is still good. The suspension does know how to handle these things. It's really been tailored for these Indian roads. On the other hand, if we take a look at it, my side view mirrors on either side, they're pretty decently sized. So I've got good visibility all around. My A-pillow is a little bit big. Visibility at the rear end, I've got a really huge glass at the back as well. It's got good visibility. So driving around in this car, even on a narrow road as we are right now, it's pretty comfortable. Quickly now take it into comfort mode, and yeah, the throttle response instantly changes. So I quickly just simply want to dink it into the sport mode now. You notice that I can actually feel a little bit more thrust in the vehicle. And yeah, I can feel that the steering wheel is actually tightened up a lot more. It just totally accelerated a little bit, and you get a really good rush that builds up. And now if I want to actually dip it into a Sport Plus mode, this is where it actually engages even more better. The steering wheel is actually weighed up completely. It's become really stiff. So I've got really good ability now. If I want to push this vehicle along here, it just simply revs all the way to the 5,000 mark. I'm raving out here, mate. That's how it is. And the braking as well. You need a car that brakes well, and this is exactly what this car does. It just simply pulls its speed back down the moment it goes that high up. So you have a lot of control on the vehicle even at high speeds. I'm really wrapped up by the seat from the corners as well around me. It's holding me in position, and I feel I'm really secured while I'm driving. Speed breakers, yeah, the ground clearance isn't the greatest. It does tend to touch here and there. That was some drive, wasn't it? Yeah, the C-Class, it's not that great to sit in the back, but when you're in the driver's seat or you're in the front passenger seat, you're gonna love this car completely. And that's just the way it's been built up. It's a car that's meant to drive. I'm not so sure Mercedes did really have all this in mind when they really thought of it, but I really love this car for what's under its hood. It's a diesel that really delivers completely just the way it should.